It's hard as hell to find a telephone booth nowadays. Let me do the get the rock out of your jock and turn back into Eric Sheptock. This metamorphosis stuff is pretty cool, now that the homeless bandit has been captured by the police. Thanks to Super Shep. Let me get back to the DC budget. A meeting has been convened by other homeless advocates and myself, which lays out the budget cuts to human services that are in Mayor Gray's proposed budget. Let me get over there now. I only have 10 minutes to get to the Coalition for Creative Nonviolence, CCNV. Such a shame that in our nation's capital we have homeless sleeping on the streets. Here in poverty-ridden Southeast, even here in Georgetown. Hey guys. Build it tight and right. Great job on my dome. Everyone stop and look at this handsome fella in the dome. Oh me. Oh my. It is me. Providing services to the homeless in my day center. These dome homes are just what we need to get homeless off the streets. These budget cuts are ridiculous and may lead to shelters closing. Now that was a solution to our budget crisis on homeless services. The fact of the matter is Super Sheptock has the solution. Now to get DC to buy into it, finally CCNV. With over 1,000 people in this building at any time during the year. All homeless. And DC is cutting human services budget that may put many homeless out in street. Let me stop and honor a woman who died on this bench. Right in front of the shelter. She chose street over shelter. Sometimes that is a hard choice to make. Okay, let's get ready for the meeting.
Federally, I think that they're going to come back from like $5 billion, about $5.3 billion from HUD housing, and there's this fear that we're going to lose 750,000 units across the country, and that here in DC, we might lose 5,000 HUD units, and then 5,000 more public housing units, and those cuts will go into effect as of October 1st. Of this year. But what's going to happen is, if you don't increase the supportive housing, then folk are going to become homeless faster than you house them. And next year, you might have 10,000 homeless people as opposed to 6,500. And so if we don't house folk faster than they become homeless, then you aren't going to decrease the number of homeless. So with that, and you have any questions or comments, or who else wants to, say something here?
We got to get middle class America to come to City Hall with us. We got to get every homeless person we can possibly get off those park benches to come down. If they don't want to speak, stand outside with a sign. Don't cut IDA. Don't cut the housing programs. Don't shut the shelter system down. Help the future. Do a better job with the family shelters out there to do it. Now, how do we get those people from the benches in the middle class America that might be affected down the line somehow?
Right. Yeah, but actually, I want to go on the record as saying this: that first of all, we shouldn't just organize around one event. We should organize just for the sake of organizing and having an ongoing homeless coalition. So. I don't want to call people together just for one meeting and then have them disband. We got to have this ongoing unity amongst the homeless community.
I think the most important thing is for us to do is try to build our awareness, and if you can try to build one other person's awareness about what's going to be happening. And going out to these places, and like these right here, we need to flood the city.
Yeah.
With regard to the city council, I think that if we're going to turn the heat, we should know that the city council, most of them, if not all of them, are lawyers. They earn millions of dollars each year outside of their city council salary, working for big business, corporations, to do some of the things that they're doing now. And then they get paid, what is it now, $150, $170 a year
City Council
for the city council, for the salaries of the city council. The city council is a part-time job, so they get over $100,000 a year, and then when they're not there in their office, which is a lot, they're making millions of dollars as lawyers, as partners, consultants, and employees of big business law firms to do us in, to do the small people in, small businesses, small people issues. So I personally think they don't need the money that they're getting paid as city council. In many states, city council people only get paid for the number of meetings that they attend, a stipend, maybe $50 or $100. So we could find a lot of money in the area of eliminating their salary. Now,
I like the direction that Shabazz is speaking of, but I think that it should be a little bit more subtle to the point that if human beings have to take a cut on one end of the spectrum, that you all have to take a cut on that end of the spectrum also. I'm not saying eliminate your salary, but let's just share this. Let's just share this cut throughout the whole city. You know what I'm saying? At any given year, you decide that the budget is going to be below whatever it takes to run the city, then there's a percentage of your salary that need to be a part of raising this city back up to where it's supposed to be.
Jim Graham. Everybody know Jim Graham?
Yeah.
Everybody know his number?
No.
It's
You
on
got the
paper, but
paper?
You got paper.
724-8181, the easiest number in the world. Jackie Reyes, she has oversight over the, well, first of all, Jim Graham has oversight over homeless issues through Human Services. Does everybody know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so rather than trying to target everybody on here, you start with Jim Graham. We've got to get, all right, understanding of who Jim Graham is, what his position is, who in his office does what. Okay, our presentations have to go to him. Now, you want to get the signs, you want to make your presentation through this newsletter, and with t-shirts, hats, whatever. We've already talked to Jackie Reyes, who is a Latino affairs person. She is also the outreach person. She has too many positions. Since I've been back in January, they lied to us. They told us they was gonna open a way for an African American affairs person in Jim Graham's office, and then throughout the council. They said they was gonna open up a position for a committee, a homeless committee in the office to work through the office, okay? That, I think, is our first line of defense, second line of defense, rather. Before we start jumping out doing all this other stuff. I totally disagree with going to any more hearings. We have something far greater. I totally agree with you. Been there, did that. We need to secure every hearing from, I'll go back as far as 1989, where testimony has already been given, okay? We don't need to keep doing, no, we're taking, these are bullets, these are steps. We don't need to keep on doing the same thing over and over again. We need to present the alternative, okay? A lot of people don't go because they're tired of the same reaction, okay? April 12th, I went to the hearing. What has been done, okay? So, we're not gonna keep doing that to the people. The people have the best idea.
83 transitional homeless services organizations. We need to get to all of them, and that's what this meeting is about. This meeting is about a $20 million cut and getting to the entire homeless community in Washington, D.C. We're not pinpointing or trying to tie in one or two folks. We're trying to get to 83 homeless services organizations.
Managing those 83 programs effectively.
Okay.
That you do before you get out the signs, that you do before you see the city council, that you do before you see or talk to anyone, because that would be their first question to you.
Okay, well,
But how are you managing the money for that?
Well, first of all, I should point out to you that not all of those services are city services. You got some that are city, you got some that are
Whether it's city or
nonprofit.
not, everyone answers to someone, and the reality is you must ensure your program is functioning effectively.
There is no reason why from the so-called homeless community and other grassroots levels of DC government that we should not attempt to put a referendum for the citizens of the city to have the city council not get paid the salary that they're getting for an outside job, as well as to eliminate their family members who work with other people too. Threaten them in their pockets. Let them know that amongst the homeless, there's wisdom down here, there's energy down here, there's militants down there. If we threaten them in their pockets like they're trying to put us out on the street, that might cause them to come to the negotiating table. I don't think some namby-pamby, weak-kneed strategies and tactics are going to bring them to the table. Some fear has to be put in them.
All right, Robert. So we just got through talking, and in this meeting, about 30 of us came together to discuss, this whole budget crisis, and we had quite a few homeless people down here who want to get involved, and I mean, how does that make you feel? I mean, are you seeing like an increased concern?
I'm really, really concerned. What the main thing that's really concerning me is that, we spend a lot of money for the city to go through a process, to put a process in place for homeless people to actually try to end their homes. And then to say, after you've been spending all this money to formulate this process, to say that all of a sudden you're just gonna cut and start dry and just basically say you don't have any more money for the next year to continue a process you spent money to put in place, it doesn't really make sense to me. And it shows a lot of lack of leadership on the mayor's part, I think, and anybody who's willing to follow him on the city council.
Yeah, so with this turnout that we had today, do you feel like that's a good sign that the homeless are ready to stand up and speak out and to fight these negative cuts?
Well, the homeless in this city in Washington, D.C., I think are really kind of laid back.
Yeah.
And I think it's time for them to get up and stand up for themselves, just like we're asking the city council to stand up and the mayor not to do what he said he wasn't going to do, which was cut the budget on the back of homeless and poor folks.
Right.
And I think that's what's taking place right now.
Yeah.
If you look at the budget.
Yeah, but we had about 30 people in this meeting, and the vast majority of them were homeless people. And I mean, that to me is like a good sign, because I think people are really beginning to wake up, because almost every day when I come through here, somebody's asking me like, what about HUD? When are we going to get housed by HUD? And I have to tell them, hey, look, they're cutting HUD, they're cutting things at the federal level, they're cutting things at the local government level, and so stop waiting for HUD, because HUD's not happening. It's not happening for you anyway.
Like I said, I just said it again, Eric, I think a lot of people have got complacent, not just in the homeless community, in the homeless service community also. I think, they're just concerned with the status quo and not really moving people out of their homelessness.
So then my question is, then do you think that by us organizing and stepping out and telling people about what's coming down the pike, that it'll wake them up? Because folk won't wake up and speak out and get involved if they don't realize what's coming down the pike and how things are going to get cut, And so, I mean, as well as I do how this meeting convened, and how that we were at the Coho meeting, and somebody there, I think it was John McDermott, who actually said, who's going to tell the homeless about what's about to happen to them? Who's going to tell the poor what's coming down the pike? And then we decided to organize, and now here we are, and I think that good things are going to begin to happen out of this. That's just my take on it.
I would hope so, I would pray and hope so, that God would make it so, because we really need to wake up and actually, come out here and advocate for ourselves and speak up for ourselves and say, the cuts that's coming down the pike is going to affect so many people in so many bad ways. So I hope that we can get next meeting. I hope we have 300 folks out here.
Okay. Well, it's a long shot, but hey, let's go for it.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
That's what's happening.